If you had to describe the Xbox Series S, you'd probably talk about how adorably dinky the digital-only next-gen console is, or perhaps that easy-on-the-eyes price tag. And there's no denying that it is both charmingly petite and delightfully affordable, but there are also so many other amazing things about the Series S as well. So here are just a few of them to prove it.
Look, when it comes to video games, it is easy to become a bit of a hoarder. Sure, you haven't played that particular title in years, and yes, the sequel was way better, but who's to say you won't suddenly be overcome with the burning desire to dive back into it in the future? Best just leave it installed, I guess. While the Xbox Series S comes with a tidy 512GB of space, you might find yourself maxing that out fairly quickly if you just can't bear to delete any of your games. The most obvious solution is to pick up an external hard drive like Seagate's storage expansion card, which gives you a massive 1TB extra space to play around with. But a slightly sneakier fix is to be found in the option which the Series S gives you to part install certain games. If you love single player campaigns but aren't much of a multiplayer person, or maybe you want to play a specific game in a collection, the Manage Game and Add-ons menu lets you choose what you want to keep. And this goes for titles like Gears 5, Call of Duty games, and even the Master Chief Collection, both of which are pretty meaty installs, so it's great to be able to carve them up however you like.
But what if you don't feel like installing the game at all? Maybe you're totally out of space, or maybe your friends are already deep into a multiplayer session of a title that you just haven't gotten around to downloading. But whatever the problem is, the solution is the cloud. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can now stream a whole bunch of titles directly onto their consoles, allowing them to jump straight into games like Forza Horizon 5, Hades, No Man's Sky, and Back 4 Blood without a single progress bar in sight. Plus, if someone is hogging the good TV, the cloud lets you stream a host of titles from the Xbox Game Pass library onto your mobile device, while Remote Play allows you to beam over the games that you've got installed on your console. And thanks to the mighty power of this tiny terror of a console, you can stream games at a smooth 60 FPS as long as your internet connection is up to the snuff. Plus, with peripherals like the Razer Kishi and the Backbone One to transform your phone into a perfect handheld console, you can continue enjoying all your favorite Xbox Series S games even when you're not using the machine itself.
Compared to the hulking might of the Xbox Series X, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the Series S wasn't a proper next-gen console. You'd be forgiven though, because you'd be absolutely wrong. While it's true that only the Series X can run games in full 4K, the Series S delivers a crystal clear 1440p and can even upscale games to 4K as well. So those of you with any of those fancy new televisions won't be leaving any pixels on the table. Plus, if you've got any streaming apps installed on your console, you'll be able to watch all of your favourite films and shows in 4K. Visually speaking, another thing that really distinguishes this generation of consoles is the silky smooth frame rates, which we've come to expect, and the Series S is more than capable in this regard too. It hits a lovely 60 FPS on tons of titles, including loads of older games which have been upgraded via FPS Boost. And it even makes it all the way to the lofty heights of 120 FPS on games like Gears 5, Warzone, and even Fortnite. Check out any of these titles on the Series S and your eyeballs will be in no doubt that they've just had a full-on next-gen experience.
A lot of games look better as soon as you boot them up on the Xbox Series S, with FPS Boost jacking up the frame rate on a ton of titles, and Auto HDR helping loads more backwards compatible games to really pop. But to see the very best that the Series S can do, you're going to want to seek out titles that have been optimized specifically for next-gen machines. And it just so happens that the Series S makes doing so unbelievably easy. In the first place, all optimized games come with a handy little Series X and S logo, so you can see at a glance which ones will be tapping into your console's full potential. Better yet, when you're scrolling through games in the Microsoft Store, a tap of the X button will bring up the filter and allow you to narrow down those which have been optimized. You can even zone in on specific next-gen capabilities. So if you particularly want to get a taste of 120 FPS gaming and are looking for a title to get you on your way, just pop that into the filter and watch the screen fill up with titles like Gears 5, the Master Chief Collection, and Knockout City.
As dazzling as the lovely new optimised titles are though, long-time Xbox gamers will no doubt also have a bunch of older favourites that they're keen to keep playing on the new machine. And ensuring they can do that is a major part of the Xbox philosophy, so you'll find it super easy to carry over those well-worn titles onto your new Series S. Just boot up your Xbox One and your Xbox Series S at the same time, connect them both to the same internet source, head to the settings menu on your next-gen machine and jump over to the system side of things. Then into backup and transfer, where you'll find the network transfer option. From there, you can rifle through the games on your old machine in a leisurely fashion, transferring over whichever ones you're not quite done with. Or if you prefer to get a bit more hands-on, you can even move your games onto an external storage space and transfer them over that way.
From the electronic bleeps and bloops of early video games to the lush soundtracks we enjoy today, sound has always been a massively important part of our whole gaming experience. But if you're a real connoisseur of quality audio, the news that the Xbox Series S is fully compatible with Dolby Atmos will be music to your ears. Thanks to its spatial sound technology, Dolby Atmos allows you to fully immerse yourself in the audio of your games. So whether you're listening out for enemy footsteps in Halo Infinite, or just soaking up the gorgeous music of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Dolby Atmos makes the experience that much richer. And of course, Xbox also now offers a range of high quality headsets for when you want that sort of immersion without waking the rest of the house up. Listening to the sinister whispers of Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice at night with an Xbox Wireless or Bang & Olufsen headset strapped around your ears is an all-time gaming experience, although definitely not one for the faint of heart.
Another cool feature you might not know about is the Xbox Series S's co-pilot option. Basically, this allows two players with two different controllers to act as one. So one of you can handle the movement while the other one aims, for example. It's a really great tool for those playing with kids who are just a little bit too little to handle all the commands themselves. Sort of like giving a toy steering wheel so they can pretend they're the one driving. Although in this scenario, the toy wheel is actually partially in control, which would be utterly terrifying. To set up a co-pilot session, just shoot over to the settings menu, then head to accessibility and then controller.
The Magnifier is a really neat tool which the Xbox Series S allows you to bring up at any time to freely zoom about the screen. To use it, all you have to do is hold the Xbox button until the controller vibrates and then hit the view button. Boom, sorted. Your zooming powers are now limitless. You can magnify anything and everything that lies before you. Never again will you have to strain your eyes trying to read an ill-placed dialogue box or an especially dense item description. You are the god of making small things less small, and bespectacled people across the realm will bow before your majesty. Of course, the Magnifier won't make it any easier for you to pull off headshots in Warzone or anything like that, because, well, that's not what it's for. But for giving your eyes a helping hand and helping you make it through text-heavy games without an optician's appointment, the Magnifier is a perfect tool.
Whether we're talking about which games you want to play, where you play them, or how you store them, or anything else, the Xbox Series S is about putting you in control, so why not make yourself at home? From the first time you boot it up, the Series S's home screen and guide enjoy a sleek, simple design that makes it really easy to hop between various apps and games. But hit the view button while you're browsing it and you'll unlock a wealth of options that allow you to tailor it to your own personal preferences, bringing all of our favourite stuff right to the forefront and generally getting the place how you like it. You know, cushion over there, blanket over there. You can also change the background to ensure you're met with just the right vibe whenever you sit down to play, with a selection of dynamic backgrounds to really brighten it up. Just don't become so mesmerised that you actually forget that you're playing anything, alright?
There's a really cunning little Xbox Series S secret that's ideal for gamers who like to use the same gamepad for their console with other devices. You know that sync button on the top of the controller which you use each time you want to connect it to something? Well, if you hold it down until the controller lights start flashing and then double tap it, the gamepad will sync itself back up to the device it was previously attached to. Using this handy trick, you can bounce between PC and console gaming in the blink of an eye, all while enjoying the textured grips, hybrid D-pad and handy share button of your favourite Xbox gamepad.
The Xbox Series S has so much more going under its hood than you would guess from looking at its compact design. Not only does it deliver a thoroughly next-gen experience by every measure, but it also puts you in command of exactly what that experience will be. I'm sure we'll come up with more things we love about this console in the weeks and the months to come, so make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll be the first to hear about all of our latest discoveries. Bye-bye!